Did you see his eyes? Tinashe whispered, holding my arm. They are red. Like fire. We were hiding behind some pots in the market, watching the prince. He stood tall in the village square, wearing a golden robe. But it wasn't the robe that scared me. His eyes glowed red, like burning coals. Don't look at him, Rudo, Tinashe said, tugging on my arm. He'll see you. I couldn't stop looking. Prince Rukweza's red eyes moved over the crowd, slowly, like he was hunting something. I have come for what is mine, the prince said. His voice was deep and made the ground feel like it was shaking. What does he mean? I whispered to Tinashe. I don't know, Tinashe said, shaking his head. But nothing here belongs to him. Then the prince pointed. His long finger stopped on Tinashe. You, he said. Tinashe froze. And me? Yes. Come here, the prince said. Before Tinashe could move, his mother, Monayasha, ran forward. She dropped to her knees and held her hands together. Please, your highness, she cried. He's just a boy. Take me instead. The prince's red eyes glowed brighter. Silence, he shouted. Monayasha grabbed her throat like something was choking her. She fell to the ground, gasping. No, I yelled, jumping in front of Tinashe. Leave him alone. The prince smiled, but it was not a kind smile. And who are you to stop me? I'm his friend, I said, even though my voice was shaking. The prince laughed. Friendship cannot save him. He waved his hand, and Tinashe stumbled forward, like something invisible was pulling him. Rudo! Tinashe screamed, reaching for me. I grabbed his arm, but the prince was too strong. He dragged Tinashe away, his golden robe shining in the sun. I tried to follow, but Baba Moyo, the oldest man in the village, held me back. You can't go, Baba Moyo said. Why not? I shouted. Baba Moyo looked sad. Prince Rukweza is cursed. Every year, he takes a child. The children never come back. That night, I couldn't sleep. Tinashe's voice was stuck in my head. I decided to follow the prince. I couldn't let Tinashe disappear. The forest was dark, and the trees looked like they were alive, bending and whispering. I was scared, but I kept going. I followed the prince's footprints until I saw a light ahead. It was a cave. Inside, Tinashe was tied to a post. He was crying. The prince stood near a fire, holding a knife. The cave walls had strange marks glowing on them. Please, your highness, Tinashe begged. Let me go. The prince didn't listen. He held the knife up high. Stop! I shouted, stepping into the cave. The prince turned to me. His red eyes glared. You again, he said. You are brave or foolish? I won't let you hurt him, I said. My hands were shaking, but I stood tall. The prince smirked. And how will you stop me? I grabbed a stick from the ground and pointed it at him. Leave him alone. The prince laughed, louder this time. A stick. You think that can stop me? He waved his hand, and the stick flew out of my grip. Run, little one. You cannot stop me. But then, something strange happened. The marks on the cave walls started to glow brighter. The prince stopped. His red eyes looked around. What is this? He growled. I didn't know, but I shouted, the spirits don't want you here. Silence, the prince yelled, but the glowing marks grew even brighter. The cave began to shake. The fire flickered and went out. The prince stumbled back, his red eyes wide. No, he screamed. This cannot be. The marks shone so brightly that I had to close my eyes. When I opened them, the prince was gone. I ran to Tinashe and untied him. Let's go, I said. We ran out of the cave and didn't stop until we reached the village. When we told the elders, they said the glowing marks were the spirits of the land protecting us. Prince Rukweza never came back after that. But sometimes, when the forest is very quiet, I think I see red eyes watching from the trees. Thank you for watching. Your support means the world to us. Stay tuned for more stories and adventures. See you next time.